It's not exactly breaking news, but free speech on college campuses in America is apparently guaranteed to everyone except conservatives, Christians, and Republicans. Now, the most recent case was at the University of Pittsburgh, where administrators encouraged students to protest an event. And after leftist activists rioted on campus, they demanded the conservative students pay for increased security fees and damages. It's the one-way tolerance we've been witnessing for years now on college campuses, and it's just getting worse. I'm David Fiorazzo, and this is Christ and Culture. In mid-April, two student groups at University of Pittsburgh hosted a debate between Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire and Brad Palumbo, co-founder of Based Politics. The groups, Intercollegiate Studies Institute and a college Republicans chapter, promoted and hosted the event, which was planned months and months in advance. Now, all university policies and procedures were followed, according to Alliance Defending Freedom, ADF. The topic was, should transgenderism be regulated by law? And the event included an audience Q&A and a meet and greet. But a month before the event, the university issued a press release referring to the debate as toxic and hurtful for many people in our university community. Provost Ann Cudd said one of Knowles' recent speeches was repugnant and contained, quote, hate-filled rhetoric, end quote. If you're on the other side of the debate, you're apparently well protected. So much for what was formerly known as the free expression of ideas in an academic environment. Then, just days prior to the debate, a leftist university professor told students that the theater arts department, along with many other departments, students, faculty, and staff at Pitt, strongly condemns this event and has called on the university to cancel Knowles' appearance due to his history of spreading hate speech and inciting violence against trans people, end quote. No examples of incitement of violence against trans people were provided, of course, but the professor then took it up a notch and urged students, minions, to attend several events planned for Tuesday, April 18, in response to Knowles' dangerous, unsafe, and unwelcome presence on campus. Jeez. And in a typical mob response, Democrat socialists showed up and showed solidarity and burned an effigy of Michael Knowles with a Hitler mustache, of course, outside the venue at his scheduled appearance at the University of Pittsburgh. Prior to the event, Pitt University told the sponsoring student groups that security costs for the debate would be $2,000. But the closer it got to the date of the event, the costs increased substantially, ending up to be more than $18,000. Now, for those of you who have been out of school for a while, that's an increase of more than $16,000 from what they originally told the Republican group. Now, the University of Pittsburgh demanded conservative students pay $18,734 in security and damage fees after 250 of their own leftist protesters rioted at the event, according to a letter sent to the college by Alliance Defending Freedom. ADF states that the university encouraged students to protest the debate, and hundreds of rioters filled the street, quote, within striking distance of the attendees. Here's what the demand letter states in part. This proximity allowed the mob to throw smoke bombs and other incendiary devices into the crowd, as well as using a road flare to burn an effigy of Knowles. That action prevented the police from keeping the O'Hara Student Center free of threats, and it ultimately caused Pitt police to urge ISI to end the event before it concluded because the situation was deteriorating. Now, university officials violated the First Amendment rights of conservative student groups. Would they do the same if the tables were reversed? I don't think we even have to wonder about that. So what's the point? These are the all too common discrimination and double standards applied on college campuses across the country. Here's a couple examples. At Princeton University, a new survey concluded that the atmosphere on campus supporting free speech is particularly negative toward conservative students. More than 3/4, or 76% of students at Princeton, said it's sometimes acceptable to shout down a speaker. 16% believe using violence to stop a speech they disagree with could be justified. Next, the College Fix reports that at University of Buffalo, a conservative student group, Young Americans for Freedom chapter, filed a lawsuit over a policy that effectively cancels the club for hosting Michael Knowles. In Wisconsin last month, the medical college canceled an anti-DEI event. Why? Because it could jeopardize safety due to the fact the invited speakers were Republican Senator Ron Johnson and National Association of Scholars expert John Salier. So back to Pittsburgh. Alliance Defending Freedom senior counsel Philip Seckler said the university was worried about how coddled liberals would react to certain viewpoints. It was bad enough Pitt charged conservatives with security fees and openly takes sides. Quote, but it's worse that the university also encouraged students to disrupt the event and shut it down. This is exactly the type of suppression the First Amendment forbids. We urge Pitt officials to swiftly rescind this unlawful fee and amend their policies to protect every student's freedom of speech. Now, Intercollegiate Studies Institute President Johnny Burtka declared that Pitt violated sacred trust by inciting a riot, where students were peacefully assembled to simply discuss and debate ideas. Now, it took more than half a century to get here in America, but we're really clearly seeing some of the rotten fruit of the indoctrination and the K through 12 education system's agenda to produce leftist social justice activists. Our great-grandparents, had they considered the possibility free speech would be censored, would boldly have declared that would never happen in America, and yet it did. God bless you and keep speaking the truth about things that matter.